Let's turn to royal news now with UK barrister and broadcaster and president of Octopus TV, Andrew Eborn. Andrew Eborn, wonderful to see you.
It's always a delight to see you, Gabriella.
Details surrounding the King and the Queen's visit to the United States for the country's 250th anniversary have been released by Buckingham Palace. King Charles will address a joint meeting of Congress and will meet privately with US President Donald Trump during his state visit later this month. Certainly going to be fascinating. Andrew, what more can you tell us about this?
Well, this follows from the glorious President Trump coming to Windsor. You remember I went down there especially for your programme to wave the flag and things like that at Windsor. This is the return visit, and it's coming at a most extraordinary time, isn't it? Where the special relationship, the phrase coined by Churchill all those years ago, the special relationship between the US and the UK is under existential threat. And the war of words that President Trump has had with the lily-livered Keir Starmer as a result of his refusal to bow to President Trump's calls to join the war and so on and so forth. He said we're not dealing with Churchill here, more U-turns than a plumber. You work on that sort of premise. So there's no love lost between the two of those. But King Charles, basically, we had that wonderful meeting, you might remember, when Starmer went to the White House and met Trump, and very different to the Zelensky planned theatrics and that terrible meeting that we all remember of Zelensky and Trump. At that meeting, Starmer basically came out and flattered Trump by giving him this wonderful handwritten invitation from King Charles to come over for that state visit. Trump loves all the pomp and pageantry, and no doubt will be parading King Charles and Queen Camilla out to show that their support, if you like, for him. Politicians over here are turning around and saying, look, hang about, should we cancel the trip because of the conflict and so on and so forth? But no, the King has made it very clear he is above politics, and that's what the royal family is supposed to be. So it is a celebration and remembrance for the 250th anniversary, and it is going to be exactly that. They're going to make the state visit from late April, as I predicted, 27th to the 30th of April. That's all confirmed. It is this sort of shared UK history, but it's not supposed to be political. And there have been calls from all sorts of campaign groups, including for King Charles to meet some of the victims of Epstein and so on and so forth. I suspect he's not going to do that and not want to do that because, obviously, as we say here, Andrew's been arrested, albeit to do with basically misconduct in a public office, nothing to do with the sexual side, and so on and so forth at the moment. And we have very strict rules here in the UK about contempt of court. So people cannot comment on anything to do with an ongoing case once somebody's been arrested until either the case has met its conclusion or charges have been dropped if charges are in fact brought. So he's going to be very, very cautious about that. But also he wants to stay as far away as possible from Andrew, because if he gets asked about these sort of questions or he meets Andrew even in private, he could be quizzed about his connection, which could expose all sorts of things. So he's desperate, if you like, to keep away from Andrew on that sort of basis, even though I know that Edward's been to visit, and also I understand Princess Anne has phoned because they're very concerned about Andrew's mental health. But King Charles will hope that the focus will be not on that, not on the war in Iran, but on celebrating the 250th anniversary.
Well, it's coming up very soon, and I'm going to speak to you about Andrew in just one moment. But Buckingham Palace has also revealed plans for how King Charles will be marking what would have been his late mother's 100th birthday. King Charles and Queen Camilla will be leading the royal family in 48 hours of events to really mark the anniversary next week. Andrew, can you tell us what's been planned?
Oh, absolutely. 21st of April, 2026. That will be what would have been the late, much-loved Queen Elizabeth's 100th birthday. There are going to be 2 days of celebrations, if you like, and commemorations, 20th and 21st of April. They're going to be led by her son, King Charles, and Queen Camilla in London. One of the major events is the opening of a fashion exhibition, Queen Elizabeth II, Her Life in Style. And this is at the King's Gallery in Buckingham Palace. It is the largest ever exhibition of its sort. It includes the christening gown, wedding and coronation dresses, so you can get up close and see those as well. There are also viewing designs for the National Memorial in St James's Park, and the opening of the Queen Elizabeth II Garden in Regent's Park, which is my hood. This is where we are, and we've seen the preparations going on here. So we're going to have that in our wonderful parks here, and that's going to be Princess Anne's going to be involved with that. There's also going to be a wonderful reception at Buckingham Palace with other people who will be 100 and representatives from the various late Queen's patronages. So it's going to be very, very wonderful celebrations, a wonderful distraction, if you like, from the troubled times that we're currently experiencing. The King's also going to issue a personal statement and a video tribute to his mother. It will be very, very moving. We miss the late Queen very, very much, and it's wonderful to be celebrating her in this way.
Yeah, no, we certainly do. That is for sure. Andrew Eborn, UK barrister and broadcaster, thank you so much for making the time and joining us on Power Hour. Always brilliant to speak with you.
Delighted to see you, Gabby. Looking forward to next time.